Hey, this is Greta Ross here at the Euless Life Family Center, and we have a very, very special guest with us today, Miss Cindy Carter. Now, you look at this lady and you would say, I wonder what does she do to do with wellness? Well, let me tell you, this lady is absolutely incredible. Cindy, welcome to the show. Welcome to Mind Body Soul Shift. So Cindy, tell us a little bit about your class. That's what I want to know about first. Tell us a little bit about your class.
We do two different types of water aerobics. Mm-hmm. One is just a regular water aerobics.
Okay.
For cardio, for stretching, to keep all your limbs working well, your muscles toned. And we do Tabata, which is really for the heart as much as anything else.
Okay.
It's you work as hard as you can for 20 seconds.
Okay.
And then you have a 8 to 10 second rest.
Oh.
And then you work again as hard as you can. And you do this in sets of 8.
Okay.
And it's just a hard workout. It's a pretty intense workout.
It absolutely is. I came in this morning and I was, my producer was filming you, and the class started right around 9 o'clock. It's like 10:05 and they're still going strong. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm looking at some of the exercises you guys are doing in the water, and it's intense.
It is.
I mean, even for me, now I don't do water aerobics, but even for me, and I go to the gym 6 days a week, but this class is really, really intense, and you get a good workout. You get your heart rate up. You can feel it in your muscle tone, everything. So, tell us the benefits of water aerobics, especially for those people who cannot get out to walk or run or can't do any exercise whatsoever. Tell us the benefits of water aerobics.
Well, the wonderful thing about water aerobics is that when you get in the water, 70% of your weight is taken off of your legs. So you can run in the water when you can't run out on cement. You can jump and run and move so much more easily than you can. I mean, there's so many things we do in there.
Yes.
We do Russian dancer, which,
yes.
They're way down low and they're kicking their legs out. There's no way I could do it on this, but in there we can do that.
Yes.
So, and you also have, out on land, you have air that is your resistance, and that's not much of anything.
Right.
But in the water, you have added resistance because you have water resistance as well.
Yes.
So
it's almost like lifting weights.
Yeah, it is. It's
almost like lifting weights. Yeah.
But we use those water weights, and what they are they're heavy floats. Mm-hmm. And the smaller they are, the less water they move around. So that means the lighter they are.
Right.
But the larger they are, then you move more water, and you're really working with them. And that is like working out with weights.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I was just watching you and the ladies in the pool, and it was just incredible. And then I saw you doing these right here. You know, it was, and then all the kicking, and they made it look so easy. And I know that, the ladies that were in your class are not like 25 or 30 years old. They're older. They're older ladies. And even after the class, I spoke with a couple of them, and they just enjoy it so much because it's so much of a benefit for them, and that's why they love it. And that's really good.
Even though they don't move around really well normally, they can get in that water,
right?
And they move right.
I saw the difference with them being in the water and when they got out the water, and the difference in their movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very definitely.
Yeah. So you said there's 2 different kinds of classes: the water aerobics, and what was the other name?
Tabata.
Okay.
That's that we do. There's quite a few different types of water aerobics.
Okay.
But that one, we used to do a water Pilates class.
Really?
We did that for a lot, which is more stretches and this sort of thing. There's just a lot of different kinds of things you can do. You can do a dance class in the water, which is a little difficult because the person that's on the deck you have to see their legs, so they have to be on the deck.
Okay.
So when she's dancing on the deck, sometimes it's very hard to keep up with her in the water because you're moving water.
Right. Yeah, because you have that resistance and she does not.
She doesn't. It's
right.
Awesome. But it's fun. It's all fun. It's nice.
Yeah. And now, how many days a week do you teach?
I teach 5 days a week. I teach Monday through Friday.
Okay. Monday through Friday, and different locations?
Yes.
Okay, so you're here on...
I teach here. I teach back-to-back classes in the morning here on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Wait. You said back to back.
Yeah,
so
that's why you saw us in the water so long.
Okay.
Because there were 2 classes there.
Wow.
We started with water aerobics and then we went to Tabata. So
but you didn't get out the water.
I got out and changed my music. But they didn't.
Okay, and then you didn't take a break. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got out and said, oh, let's have a drink. You just kept working right through it.
They've got their waters there.
Right.
And they take their drink of water when they know they can take one whenever they want it.
Wow.
So we drink right through it.
Yeah, you certainly do.
We do.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So you teach 5 days a week.
I do.
You teach 3 days a week here.
And then I teach 3 days a week in Irving.
Okay.
In a senior center in Irving.
Okay.
And beginning the 10th of June, I'm going to teach also in an outdoor pool where we live. I will teach Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I'll leave my 2 classes here and go there for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then I've got a couple of children that I teach swimming on Thursday and teach on Thursday evenings.
Wow. So let me ask you a question, Cindy. How did you get involved with water aerobics? What started you with this?
I have been a swimmer all my life. My mother, I owe that to my mother. She was not a swimmer, and she was determined I would be.
Okay.
When we first moved to Dallas, I didn't know anybody. It was summer, school was out, so I didn't have anything really to do. We'd get on the bus and we'd go down to the YWCA, downtown Dallas.
Right.
And I learned to swim then. And we'd have lunch and then we'd get on the bus and come back home.
Wow.
And that was our summer, the first summer we were there, because she didn't know anybody and I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
But I owe my swimming to her because she got me started swimming. But I've been a swimmer all my life. I've taught swimming. I have my WSI, and so I can teach swimming and all. And it's just been a lifelong thing for me. But we kind of got away from that. My husband and I raised our kids in Irving, and we decided on a lark to go live in our condo in Winter Park, Colorado for a couple of years.
Okay.
So we went, after he retired, we went there, and we were in Winter Park, and we would golf all summer and ski all winter. And we didn't do much swimming. I was kind of away from the water.
Wow, yeah.
But we had a great time up there. But anyway, then we decided we liked it so well we would just move there.
Yeah.
So we sold our house in Irving. We bought a house up there in Granby, which was right beside the Winter Park area. And Larry went to work full time. And just because he felt like we would need the extra money.
Right.
And so he quit playing golf and doing his exercise, but he would meet this group of guys every morning and eat this big breakfast. And 7 months later...
It started a show.
7 months later, he was on his motorcycle going down to a neighbor's house and felt like he was going to pass out. And so he stopped. He was smart. He stopped and got off the motorcycle, but then he just crashed and it fell on him. And he split his head up and down the back. He's just the skin. He didn't break his skull or anything. It just passed out right there. Anyway, the long shot of that was that it was his heart. And so we went down to St. Anthony's in Denver, and he had 4 bypasses. 2 of them were badly blocked. And so he had 4 bypasses coming out of the surgery. He has what they call a shower stroke. And when I saw his brain scan, it really terrified me because he had spots all over his brain that were from the stroke.
Wow.
And the only large one, though, was right here at the base of his skull. It's about the size of a quarter right here. Anyway, they told me I should just pull his breathing tube, that he would never be anything but a vegetable. He was in a coma for 17 days. Now he teaches for Dallas Baptist University. He does walk with a walker or a 4-prong cane.
Okay.
And I think that's from the spot here.
Right.
But he has recovered really well. During his recovery, part of his recovery was water aerobics, where he went for his recovery.
Okay.
And so I would watch the water aerobic classes, and I'm thinking, I could do that. I could do that. I think I want to do that. So I called the Arthritis Association to see because he was taking the arthritis type classes, the stretching and this.
Right.
And so I took arthritis classes and got certified in being able to be an arthritis instructor, arthritis water instructor. Well, then I found out that a lot of the jobs that they had for that type of person were in hospitals, and that was just a part of your job.
Right.
Well, I didn't want to work all day.
Yeah.
I had Larry at home, and I knew he needed me some.
Right.
I just couldn't be gone all day. and every day. I mean, I just didn't want that. Just wanted this to be part-time. So I heard about a lady, Beverly Gammon, who was with Different Strokes Swim School. And she and I talked, and she said, I can use you as a swim instructor, and I can use you in water aerobics. So she said, but I want you certified in regular water aerobics.
Okay.
So she sent me to Cooper Institute. I don't know if you ever heard of Cooper, downtown Dallas.
Yes.
And so I got my actual water certificate for water aerobics, for just regular water aerobics there at Cooper. And they don't do that anymore.
Really?
They quit doing that about 5 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, that's how I got into it. It's because my husband was into it, and I thought, I can do this.
Right.
So I did. And I've loved
how long ago was
That's been, Larry, this summer is coming up on his 14th anniversary in July of having had his stroke.
Wow.
And I have been teaching probably a good 13 years. 13 years in about February of this year.
Wow. Okay, now, I know most people don't ask this question, but I think it's very important for our audience to know this. Can you please share with everyone how old you are?
Oh, I would be happy to. I'm 81 years old, and I'm teaching 9 water classes a week, and I'm adding 3 more water classes this summer and 2 swim lessons. So,
can somebody say this lady is a beast? Can somebody say she's a beast? I can't even I go to the gym 6 days a week, okay? I can't do that. Seriously, I can't.
I am blessed. I am very blessed, and I know we have both been very blessed.
You
and
certainly
I know that we
are. 81 years old, and you teach that many classes a week. That's incredible. Incredible.
And it's fun. I love it. I love every one of them. If I don't feel very good and I go ahead and go to the class, I feel 10 times better when I'm out of class. I feel better. There's just nothing like working out in the water.
Yes.
There's just nothing like it.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to finish our conversation with Cindy Carter. Hello and welcome back. We are back here with Cindy Carter, water aerobics instructor. Now, Cindy, I wanted to continue to talk about the benefits of water aerobics because I lost over 100 pounds, but I did mine walking because at the time my cholesterol was extremely high, was borderline diabetic. The doctor said I could have had a stroke or a heart attack at any time. So I just started walking, but I know that what worked for me may not work for everybody. I didn't, the doctor also told me that, I was going to have knee surgery because of the weight that was on my knees. But once I started exercising, what I found is that how my life, the quality of my life improved. Share with the audience on the benefits of water aerobics, how your life has improved, your husband's life has improved because he did have a stroke, and some of the benefits of the ladies that come to your class, and maybe a condition or two that some of them may have had, and how it's helped them and how they have grown to become better just from the water aerobics. So start with how it has benefited your life.
My life has been benefited wonderfully. When I don't feel well, I can get in the water, and water is so cathartic, and I just feel wonderful. I was having some problems with hips when I would lie down at night. If I lie, whatever side I was lying on, that side would ache. And then I would try to roll to the other side, and I was doing this all night long.
No sleep.
And I got into the exercise in the water.
Yes.
I have no hip problems anymore at all. Just no problems there at all.
Amazing.
So I have lost probably, I don't know, 15 pounds. I was never grossly overweight, but I've lost some weight doing this, and I can keep my weight under control.
Yes.
One of the other instructors in the morning has lost over 100 pounds also. I was wanting you to interview those two.
Yes.
She's at her granddaughter's graduation, so she's out of town. She's not able to be here.
Wow.
But I wanted you to hear her story. But she has, I mean, with her diet, you can't do it with exercise alone.
Right. You have to. Your diet is very important.
Don't think that we're telling you can exercise and get it off easily. You can't. Exercise
and what you
helps you tone up.
Yes.
And it helps you lose the weight, but you've got to back away from the table a little sooner than you used to, a little sooner than you want to, and you've got to leave certain foods alone.
Yes,
except maybe early in the morning when you've got all day to work it off.
Burn it off. That's right. Yes.
But anyway, I wanted you to hear her story too, because she had a good story.
Over 100 pounds.
And our other instructor, and I think this is neat, our other instructor that teaches, they share the morning class, the early morning class. And she does this because she wants extra money so that she can help people that she knows that have a problem.
Wow.
So she puts her money away that she makes from doing this. We don't any of us get wealthy doing this.
Right.
We put it away. She puts it away, and when she hears of somebody, of kids that were in a family that can't all afford to go to camp,
right,
or children, that she hears need something, she has that money that she can give people to help them with different things that,
that's
I
awesome.
think that's it. She's got a really big, generous heart.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, I mean, she is benefiting in a couple ways. She's also helping the people who are actually attending her class to be well, and she's helping the community.
Right. Yes.
And
she's lost weight too.
Yeah.
She's been doing this.
That's a threefold blessing.
She's helping the community. She's helping the people in her class. She's very inspiring.
Yeah. I can't
Both of the girls, the early girls, are really
I can't wait to meet them, because I think that's an awesome testimony for people who feel like they have the weight, they want to get it off. But like you said, water aerobics, exercise, all that is good, but you also have to look at what you're fueling your body with, because when we eat food, that's what it should be doing, fueling our body, not making us, lethargic and not feeling like we don't want to move or do anything. If we fuel our body, then it gives us the energy so that we can do different things, So the food is important, and we do have a chef that comes on our show. Yes, she's a chef nutritionist, because I want people to see that you got to have the whole. You got to have the whole thing. You may exercise, but if you're not eating right, then you're really defeating the purpose. So I want people to know that exercise and eating both go together, and when you do that, that's when you get your results. Yeah. But I'm going to have to come and join your class, because when I was watching you teach your class, it is so intense. I mean, it doesn't look, you would think at 81-year-old woman, how intense can it be? But believe me, I watched you. And when you see the footage of this lady teaching her class, you'll see what I mean. I mean, just the movements, and you were very precise with your movements. Now, I'm not saying everybody was, but the thing is that you are an instructor, but what people need to understand is that they can modify.
Yes. And I always tell them, if I have a new person, listen to your own body.
Yes.
Don't do anything that hurts your body.
Absolutely.
If you can't do something, don't do that. Just kick and do something.
Yes.
Just keep yourself active.
Yes.
The whole
and
time.
I think that's the other thing that it keeps people from, I believe, going to work out, whether it's in the gym or water aerobics, is because they feel like, well, I can't do what everybody else is doing. But my point is that you may not be able to do what everybody else is doing, but if you come and you can just start off doing something, even if it's just something small.
That's right.
If you start off small today, and then the next time you can keep adding to it and keep adding to it and keep adding to it, the next thing you know, you're doing as much as everybody else in the class. But you got to start somewhere.
Yes, one of the ladies this morning was talking about how she used to be scared of the water, and she'd be right over the, hanging onto the wall, and now she's out there. She's just doing everything she wants to do. You get as you get more comfortable with the water, and you figure out how that water pushes you and moves you, and it's wonderful. It's just a wonderful time, and we all have a good camaraderie, and there's good people that come to water classes. And the nice thing is, if you're not happy with your body, your body's hidden in the water. You're under that water. You only see the top part in your big smiling face and the top half of you. And under the water, there's nothing but shadows.
Right.
You can't tell what, you can't tell it. You can't see. Yeah.
And it's such a benefit, though. It really is.
It's a wonderful benefit.
It's such a benefit. You know, and it's just like lifting weights.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have that weight that you can work with.
Yes.
And it's not, you know, it's not weighing you down. It's not too heavy.
But it's good resistance. It's good resistance.
Just enough.
Works your muscles.
Yes. And it's just enough.
Yeah.
It's just enough to get your heart rate up, which will burn some calories.
Exactly.
It's just enough to give you some muscle tone.
Yes, it does. I've got a muscle. I've got a muscle. I've got a muscle.
Mine. Okay. She got some guns over here, y'all. That's from that water, though.
That's from the water. I didn't have those at all before I started water aerobics.
See?
I didn't.
And you get the toneness. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's such a benefit. How could you not? Well, I mean, unless of course you can't swim, but then you can take. You're in an environment where you're not immersed in the water. You're not under the water.
We have many people who don't swim.
Right.
Many people in our classes who don't actually swim.
I even seen a lady when I came in. There's a horse over there.
Yes.
She was on a walker.
Yes.
She couldn't even walk hardly by herself.
Right.
So she got on the horse over there and she sat down and they lowered her into the water.
Yes.
And she got in that water and this lady she was awesome in the water.
Yeah.
And even though she may have not had the stability on the ground, because you and I were talking about the balance.
Yes, yes.
Because
it really works on your balance.
Yes.
It works on all your muscle tone. Mm-hmm. And in the water, it's easy on your joints. It's easy on your joints. And so as you get older, this is the perfect place to go and get your workout.
It is.
The water is a pool. It's
especially when you're older. You know, I mean, this lady, you know, she's the same age as my mother's going to be 82 next month.
My baby daughter, right?
And so we were talking earlier, and I was telling her, you know, now that I'm 61, you know, I do have a concern. I mean, not really, you know, major, but I have a concern about getting older, as we should, you know, when we get up in age, because, you know, there's things that our bodies don't function the way they used to. Our knees don't operate. Our ankles don't operate the way they used to. So our balance becomes off. Mm-hmm. And even at 61, I've noticed that my balance is not the same as it was when I was younger. So I have to make sure that I'm got my feet planted on the ground really well, because it's
and
nothing.
we work on balance a lot, because that's really important to us as we get older.
Especially as we get older.
You have to really
because you know some people have that problem with balance to the point where they may end up balance is just not good at all.
Exactly.
You know,
my husband is there.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Look at those moves. I'm telling you, it may look easy, but I'm telling you, when you're in that water and you're moving around like that, you really feel it. It is a great way to work out. You can go to your local rec center or your local WYMCA. Usually they have classes there for a little of nothing here. If you're not a member, it's $2 per class. If you're a member, it's $1. I think it's only like $50 a year for a membership, usually. Sometimes it's even less than that, depends on where you are. But it's worth it. Get your heart rate up. You feel great when you get done. British Aqua Center, and we just finished filming Cindy Carter, and we have some of the ladies here and a gentleman. But first we're going to interview this beautiful young lady here. Elaine, is it?
Alice.
Alice, I'm sorry. You're Elaine.
Yeah.
My apologies. So Elaine, tell us a little bit about how long you've been doing this and what actually started you to doing water aerobics.
Well, I started doing water aerobics about 10 years ago, and I mainly came because my back was sore.
Okay.
And now I hardly have any problems with my back.
Wow. And how many classes a week do you do?
9.
Wow, incredible. 9 classes a week. Now, do you mind me asking you how old you are?
No, I'll be 73 in November.
73, and you take 9 water aerobics classes a week.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And I walked 4 miles today.
4 miles a day? How many days a week?
4 miles, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Okay. So 3 days a week you walk 4 miles. That's awesome. Well, you know what? We're going to be coming back to film you, and the next time we'll have more time to talk because the Rangers are playing tonight.
Yes.
And we don't want to keep her from her Rangers game. So thank you so much, Allison. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll be right back. We are live here in Bedford, Texas, in the home of Larry and Cindy Carter. I wanted to sit down with Cindy today and kind of talk with her about her journey with the water aerobics and actually how she got started with water aerobics. I think she has a fascinating journey. How are you today, Cindy? It's so good to see you.
Great. It's good to see you too, Greta.
It's always good to see you. You have so much energy. I just love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for allowing me in your home. Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Come back anytime.
Well, I sure appreciate that. I might
Bring
just take you
next time.
I will. She had 1,000 other things to do today, but I asked her, so are you coming with me? She's like, no, I'm not going to be able to come, but enjoy. I said, I will. But she sends her regards.
Good.
So what I want to talk about, Cindy, I want you to just kind of share with us about your journey on your water aerobics experience. How did you get started? I know I've been to a couple of your classes, and I know that we, interviewed you on location. But what I want to find out, more in depth about how did you start swimming?
I started swimming when we moved here from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the 2nd grade. I had just finished the 2nd grade.
Wow.
And my mother didn't swim, and she was determined that I would learn to swim. She said, we're going to be Texans now. There's swimming pools everywhere. You've got to learn to swim. And we moved there in the summer. School was not on, so I didn't have anything to do. I had no friends here. Mother didn't know anybody here either. So we'd get on the bus in the morning and go to downtown Dallas, and I would into the YWCA, and I learned to swim at the YWCA.
Wow.
And Mother said it was like I had fins or something. I just picked it up just like
natural.
that.
You was just a natural.
Loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Natural.
It was great. In fact, we had 2 men from the Dallas Athletic Club that took us to lunch and tried to talk me into going into a pre-Olympic situation where I would train, and I wouldn't even know until I was 13 if I was good enough to go into actual pre-Olympic training. But this was pre-Olympic training.
Yeah.
They would teach me how to swim rapidly because I wasn't a fast swimmer. I was I knew the strokes well, and they said we can teach you how to cut your speed down. So, but I would have had to have gone after school every day, catch the bus every day after school, go downtown Dallas, the DAC, and swim until 6, and then catch the bus home, eat my dinner, try to get my homework done, and get to bed at a decent hour. That would have been my life.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you're in training like that, and especially if you're talking about pre-Olympics, that's major. You have to qualify for that. You don't just walk in, even though you may be good at what you do, you still have to qualify for that. But that was an awesome experience, even to have the opportunity to to do that. That was
I've wondered many times if I'd have done it, if I could have ever. Back then we didn't have everybody on TV, and you didn't learn their life story and find out that they were just normal people.
Right.
I saw Johnny Weissmuller and thought, that he was some fantastic person, and then Esther Williams was my idol. I thought she was wonderful.
But, you know, I compared myself with them, and here I was, this little toddler, kid.
Wow. But, you know, hey, that's how they started, you know?
Sure.
I mean, you know, when you talk about that, you're talking about years and years and years of training to be a great athlete, you know? Yes. So you went from swimming as a child, and so what did you do next with that?
Well, then I went ahead and got my life-saving certificate in my WSI for water safety instructor so that I could teach.
Okay.
And I taught in the summers when I was in college and this sort of thing.
Good.
And got married and helped my kids learn to swim and that kind of thing, you know. And then we moved after the kids had graduated, and we moved to Colorado. And lived up there, and so I didn't swim as much because it was cold.
Yes.
Any place we went to swim if it was cold.
I think you're the greatest person on the earth.
We'll discuss that later.
He said, I beg to differ. No, sir. I'm sure she is a wonderful. I love her. I do. I love her energy. I love everything about Cindy. Okay, this is Greta Ross. We are still here in the home of Larry and Cindy Carter. Just got done interviewing Miss Cindy. And just awesome woman. So now we're going to talk to Larry, because we did talk about Larry's condition and, you know, kind of what happened to him. But what I want Larry to do is I want Larry to share kind of the onset of, you know, what happened to him and how, you know, did he see it coming? Was it like a out of control train, or, you know, really what the deal was? Or did it just kind of happen all of a sudden? Because, you know, I'm sure that we kind of all have warning signs. So, Larry, how are you today?
I'm doing fine.
Good. You look so great. I love it. You look great.
Thank you.
Awesome. So as we were talking to Cindy, you know, she was sharing with us about you had the triple bypass and you had the stroke and, you know, in the coma for the 17 days. Tell us what led up to that. What's in your opinion? Tell us. I've heard Cindy's version of this story. So now I want to hear your version of this.
Well, I came back to Texas to buy a motorcycle.
Okay.
And I got the motorcycle and took it back up there to Colorado. And Cindy made me mow the yard, and we lived in the mountains. And the yard was a lot of weeds, and so I mowed the yard. I got completely worn, totally out. Went back in and was sweating like a mule. And I thought, well, I need to get up and move around a little bit. So I got up and got on my motorcycle. I just got it back from Texas and started riding down the road and passed out.
Wow. On the motorcycle?
But I was getting it, I realized I was going to possibly pass out. And so I was slowing down and I had almost gotten it stopped, and then fell and cut the back of my head open. And then I came to probably, about 15, 20 minutes. Wait, what, you got any idea?
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was, one of our friends found me, you know, laying under my motorcycle.
Wow.
And he went down and called the ambulance, and he brought his wife back up. And when I came to, I was looking up at this lady. She had me in my head in her lap, and when I looked up at this, I thought she was an angel.
Wow.
And I thought I'd died and gone to heaven.
He's thankful for that.
Yeah.
And she's been, I refer to her as my angel. Because I thought she was. I mean, I thought I'd died and gone to heaven.
Wow.
But anyway, then we went to the hospital, and from there on, it was just kind of in and out. They were doing all kinds of
I'm sure.
study on me in there.
Yes.
And then finally, they decided that I needed that quadruple bypass, heart. And so they went through that, and I ended up in a coma. And I was in that for 17 and a half days. I thought it was 18 days, but Cindy said, no, it's 17 and a half.
She's so persistent.
And she's persistent. Yeah. Anyway,
Precise and persistent.
when I came to, I was one of the things I really have been blessed with is being able to talk.
Yeah.
You know, I've met some people that really don't have any control of their speech as a result of the stroke.
Yes, this is very true.
But I went through the quadruple bypass surgery, and when it came to, I had still had the rivets.
The breathing tube.
And the breathing tube and all that sort of thing still. Anyway, they took good care of me.
Yeah.
And then I went to, that was after I came to, then we went into, I was ready to die. I wanted to die.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't move my arms or my legs, anything like that. I was just a mass that couldn't move.
Yeah.
And I thought,
We tried to get him to do an okay sign, you know, the okay sign or the thumbs up sign. He could not do anything with his hands.
now I left you alone when you were being interviewed.
I'm sorry.
Oh, well, you can tell that they have been married for a number of years, which we're gonna find out about that too.
62.
62 years. And you know what? My birthday, I'm almost 62. They've been married longer than I've been born.
Unreal.
So that's why they can do this.
But I'm still looking around.
Oh, you can't trade her in, honey, and upgrade. You can't upgrade, Larry, believe me.
He still refers to me as his first wife.
But anyway, we came back to Texas, and I was I couldn't use my legs.
Yeah.
I've been having difficulty all the time ever since I got there. I could not move when I got into the hospital. I wanted to die. I really did. I wanted to go because I couldn't move my arms or my legs. I couldn't do anything. I had no control.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I don't know what else you want me to talk about. But
well, let me ask you this. You had a triple bypass. That means that you had a
Quadruple.
Quadruple. Okay. So that means you had quite a few arteries that was clogged up. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's go back. What year was that you had the triple?
The quadruple.
Quadruple bypass. What year was that?
It was 16 years ago.
Okay.
14 years ago.
14 years ago.
Okay.
All right.
14 years ago. So you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were you active at that time? Before you
I just got through mowing the yard.
Okay, so
in the mountains.
So you were active. You were.
Yeah.
Did you have any other type of activities that you had going on?
We played golf. We swam. We did. We were very active.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we skied. It was wonderful up there.
Yeah.
We had moved up there we lived there about 4 years.
Okay.
And then that's when I had my stroke, and then we had to come back to Texas.
Yeah. So but something had to change. Something had to change. Your lifestyle had to change somewhere. Something had to change for your arteries to get in that condition. Something had, they just.
Well, I didn't eat properly. Probably that's what she feels like.
Okay.
And then when I got out there and mowed the yard, it was in the mountains.
Yes, it was.
So the altitude was about like 9,000 feet, and the yard was about this high in weeds and sloped, and it was just. I mean, when I came in, I was sweating like crazy. Yeah. And I sat down in the chair, and I thought, well, I can get a little bit of air. If I can get on that motorcycle, I'll get some fresh air. Yeah. Well, I got on that motorcycle, and I shouldn't have.
Not knowing that you were actually about to. If you had sat there a couple minutes longer, you probably would have realized that you were, because you felt it as you were riding the motorcycle, because you started to slow down. So you felt something was going on with your body. Yep. Yeah.
He had very large sweat bumps.
And that probably should have been an indication, to you that something.
That's a heart sweat.
You don't think about that sort of thing when you're.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't, especially because you were just active. You just finished mowing weeds this high, so that was your thought process. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, yeah, of course I'm sweating. I just finished mowing the lawn, So which is understandable. But then when you got on the motorcycle and then you realize it's like, hey, wait a minute, something isn't right. And then at that point,
and I had just bought that motorcycle, so that was a big problem.
yeah.
We had to put that thing in storage for a little over a year, I guess. And then when we went back up there, the fellow that put it in storage for me said, "We need to get that thing out of there."
Yeah.
And so I sold it.
Yeah.
And to one of his nephews, I think.
But you know what? Hey, you went through that whole process, and I know it wasn't easy. Years and years of just trying to get back to where you are right now.
Yeah.
And even though you have a walker and you may use a walking stick at some time, tell me about when you started water aerobics. How much of a challenge was that?
I started the water aerobics a long time before Cindy really got into it, back into it.
Okay.
And that was at the hospital.
Okay.
And so then after she got started with her own classes, and so I I thought it'd be cheaper to go with Cindy than with the other.
Right.
So that's why when I joined her class.
Okay.
And she's done a fantastic job of putting up with me, I guess, more than anything.
We heckle him a lot too.
Oh yeah, I do. But it's been I'm thrilled to death to be where I am right now. I'm very sad that I have not been able to accomplish what Cindy would like for me to have accomplished, and that's to get up.
That are definitely part of God's angels.
Yeah.
We had two of them that were determined to be.
Oh yeah. And
well, there's and you have to realize that you're talking about 14 years ago, and you're 82. You're 82. So but you go to water aerobics 3 times a week. You still get around. You're still driving. Because I someone told me the other day that you can drive from here to Colorado.
I do every year. And I'm teaching.
And back. And he's teaching. Tell us about that.
Well, when I had been teaching before we went to Colorado. In fact, I was doing some teaching in Colorado.
Okay.
And when I had the accident and the stroke, I called the lady that had hired me and said, if there's any way possible, I'd like to be able to teach some more. And she said, you give me a call when you think you're ready. And so I called her. It was about 6 months of rehabilitation.
Yeah.
I was reading, and I read about 8 novels during that period of time to try to. My eyes were not exactly focusing properly.
Right.
So I did that and got to reading well, and I've always enjoyed reading. But anyway, I called her back and I said, I think I'm ready to go if you've got a class for me. And she said, I'll give you one class. We'll see how you do. So I taught that class, and towards the end of it, it was at the end of it, I called her and I said, Shirley, I'm getting through with the class. I've done the final, and I've graded the papers and everything. And I said, what do you think? And she said, I've got you assigned 2 classes.
Wow.
And so evidently I passed.
Evidently.
So.
Evidently.
Anyway,
And so what subject do you teach?
They're ethics courses.
Okay.
Basic ethics in both undergrad and graduate.
Okay.
So.
At Dallas Baptist University?
At DBU, right.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that? I know you said you did that in
26 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And still going at it.
I retired from Xerox at age 55. And probably should have kept on going. But I wanted to go into business for myself.
Yes, yes.
And then when I found out that it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it is a challenge.
I got a call from a friend of mine that had worked at Xerox and was there at DBU. And what the story there was that he met my son at their church, And he said, Jeffrey Carter, your last name's Carter? He said, yes, sir. And he said, do you know Larry Carter? And he said, that's my dad. And he said, do you know how I can get in touch with him? And he said, sure, here's his phone number. So he called me, and that he was out at DBU, and he wanted some help in setting up that one of the courses that I'd been teaching there at Xerox, TQM, Total Quality Management. And so we did. We worked together and put together a program, put together a class.
Oh, good.
And so I wrote a couple of classes for them.
It's pretty good.
Well, it certainly it brought me back into the real world.
Yes, yes. See, I mean, I'm telling you, there's hope.
Well,
and people need to know that, even when it was dark and you felt like I just want to die, when you look back on that was just for that moment. But here you are now, and look how you're thriving. I mean, so people need to know that, you know what, if you just know that you can, and I'm sure that it took a lot of determination in your mind, a lot of determination, because I'm sure there was days you just said, you know what, hey, enough of this.
Well, I'll tell you a story. We were out riding around. This was after I got out of the hospital. Cindy was driving, and we were riding around. And, of course, I had a few little comments to make about her driving.
A few.
And she finally, after a while, she pulled over to the side of the road and got out, walked around. We had a van at that time, and opened the door. I said, what are you doing? She said, get out. I said, what? And she said, get out. I said, well, Cindy, I can't get out. I can't walk around. She said, well, if you don't shut up, I'm going to leave you here. And I said, well, I'll shut up. And so she got back in the car, and then from that time on, I thought I'd better get myself back to the point where I can drive. So I guess the time that we realized that I could drive okay was that she drove about halfway. We go to Colorado every year.
Yeah. Spend
a month up there. We didn't go this year, but anyway, I started driving around in town, and so we were going to Colorado, and we got about halfway there, and I said, I think I'm ready to drive for a while. And she said, all right. So she got out, and I drove the rest of the way to Colorado, and I've been driving back and forth to Colorado ever since.
Wow.
So, and I drive most of the time.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to drive because I fuss at her.
We went to a vacant parking lot after 5 o'clock in the evening, and that's where he learned to drive.
Yeah, yeah.
It was interesting to get this. My right leg is what doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd drive around that parking lot for a while, and then I'd stop, and I'd think, why is the motor running like this?
Yeah.
Well, the right leg was still
on it,
on the accelerator.
Yeah.
And then when I'd realized that finally, I'd pull that up, and see, I can pull that up.
Yeah, yeah.
We worked on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That reflex. Yeah. Well, you know what, Larry? I appreciate you sharing, your process on, how you went from not even knowing if you would even come out of a coma after 17 and a half days, and look at where you are now.
But look what she did. She's the one that's gotten me there.
Yeah, she really, really, and I definitely want to come back and talk to her, because I think that that side of her story, we talked about the water aerobics, and that's great, but I think that, when you have something that happens like this and it's so sudden, I think that when it catches you off guard, you don't know, as a spouse, or, just as someone that, just having a loved one to go through something like that, your first reaction is, of course you want them to be okay, but then, you don't even know what's coming after that. All that is going to be, that is going to have to be done in order to help you. And like she was sharing earlier, I want her to share when I come back about how, the roles were reversed, because you were always her, protector, her provider, and then the roles reversed where, she had to do it. But, a lot of people may not be able to have that kind of understanding to be able to do that and make that transition without being upset or angry and not knowing what to do. So I think that's a really important part a part of this process, and that's
Sure
definitely
did.
something that I want to want Cindy to share, and I want both of you kind of to go back and forth and just kind of share where you felt like she was and where she felt like you were, and just how how you all interacted, because a lot of people may have not been able to survive this in their marriage, and after 62 years of marriage, and having to be there, I mean really be there for you and rearrange her schedule, but to help you, to push you to get back on your feet. I think is a remarkable story. So we're going to come back and with Cindy and Larry and let them share as a couple, because I think that they have a fascinating story together on how they were able to grow through this once tragedy that could have ended up so differently. But I look at this man now and just the vibrance and just the, don't let his calmness sit here and fool you, because if the Rangers was playing baseball right now, he would probably be a totally different man. He loves his Rangers. So Larry, thank you so much for taking your time out in the middle of the day to sit down and talk with me.
Welcome.
I really appreciate it.
I enjoyed it.
And thank you so much for letting me into your home. This is Greta Ross with Mind, Body, Soul Shift.
Okay.
One thing I want people to understand.
Greta Ross here live at the Heritage Senior Citizen Plaza. And I am here with Cindy Carter again today. And this is another class that she teaches. Yes. I was so fascinated with your story the last time I was here. You've been doing water aerobics for a while.
Yes. I started water aerobics. Well, first off, I started swimming, and then I decided to go into water aerobics.
Okay.
So I've been doing swimming since 2005.
Wow.
And that was because I'm a breast cancer survivor, and I was needing to build up my energy, and they said by exercise.
Yes.
So that's what started it all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the thing about that is that when you are low on energy, if you talk about going to a gym or anything else, it just seems like it's impossible.
Well, it's not only a physical thing, but it's a social thing also.
Yes.
So that, it's a win-win situation.
Yes.
And it went from there to training for the 3-day 60-mile walk, which is the Coleman 3-day 60-mile walk.
Wow.
And this will be my 13th year for that.
13 years.
So I am a street walker.
Oh yeah, you definitely are. You are definitely that.
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
Hey, we got to give you that card because, and so being a part of that organization, the Susan B. Coleman, you usually walk. The organization to train for that walk.
Yes, I belong to a team. Pink Souls in Motion.
Oh my, I love it.
And and we're one of the larger teams.
Okay.
I'm the oldest one on the team, and we range. It differs from year to year depending on what's going on in a person's life.
Okay.
So it's usually around 50. We generally walk around between 40 and 50 people.
Okay.
Just in our team. And so far our team has raised over $1 million for Coleman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because anyone that walks has got to raise $2,300.
Wow. So you have a pretty large team then.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is so good.
Yes.
Well, I think you have a fascinating story. I would love to be able to sit down with you one day and hear more about, how you got to this point in your life. And I was watching you out there working out, and you were getting it,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's great for your heart. It just makes you feel so much better when you get done working out.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back to talk to you more in depth. I definitely want to sit down with you.
Well, fantastic.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back. And we are back.
Hi.
Hello there.
Hi.
I saw you out there in the water working and getting.
Yeah, trying to work on it.
Yeah.
I came here on a dare from my wife.
Okay.
And we started about a month ago, and I really enjoyed it. We come about once a week. That's what our goal is.
Okay.
So we're trying to get there, and hopefully we'll step up to 2 times a week.
Okay.
And my exercise, basically, I've been walking the dog 3 miles 3 times a week.
Wow.
I know.
Awesome.
Keeping the dog happy, And I find really the aerobics has been a great augmentation to the exercises that I have. So I do play golf as well.
Okay.
But I find that I have better flexibility and I have better muscle tone overall, all just because I come and do this little session.
Yes. And you know what I find for me is because you know when we get up in age, we kind of lose our balance a little bit, and I find that is so good for the balance.
And when I first started it, I was all over the pool, and now I can kind of stay in one spot. So that it definitely helps with the balance.
So how's your wife enjoying it?
She's enjoying it as well. And in fact, we talk about it a lot and trying to get motivated enough to come twice a week. And I think that would be a benefit for both of us.
It will. And you know what the thing is that the more you come and the more you start to enjoy it, and when you start to see more results, then you're going to step up your game a little
get
bit.
more and more and more.
Yes. Because I would imagine Cindy probably started out with a couple classes a week, and now she's up to 14 classes a week, and that's just incredible.
That's incredible. And she puts us to shame.
I know. I mean, like it's not anything. You know, I take a class with her out in Bedford, and I'm telling you, she's a beast in the water. She is.
We went to Memphis last week and ran into some friends. Well, we met them there, and we haven't seen them in 35 years.
Okay.
And believe it or not, her name came up saying that our water instructor kicks our butt, and she
Wow. All the way in Memphis, Tennessee. Wow. Well, but you know what? Hey, when you're good at what you do,
you're good at what you do.
That's right.
And she's impressive. You know what I mean?
She is very, very impressive. I remember I did an interview with her, and I couldn't believe that she was her age, and she taught that many classes.
Like she got me breathing hard right up from the bat.
Okay, I mean from the time you get in the water.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's good.
Yeah, it is. And it gets your heart rate up.
Gets the heart rate up, gets the breathing going.
Yes. Well, I sure appreciate your time. I'll be back.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll kind of come back and catch you and your wife.
No problem.
And would love to talk to you guys, you know, just to kind of sit down with you, just to see what your story is. And, you know, I think everybody has their own story, you know, because when I used to weigh 237 pounds, and, you know, my journey, you know, I like to share with people to let them know, you know, hey, you can do it too. So if you stick with it, and I tell you, you'll see great results.
There you go.
This is a great thing.